Greetings, hello everyone, and welcome to Geek Space TV presents Night Witches, Toil, and Trouble. It is wonderful to see you all here. I'm so happy that you all could join us for this wonderful show that is all about Soviet airwomen in World War II bombing Nazis in really outdated planes. Geek Space TV is a nonprofit based out of Seattle which has as its mission bringing more diversity and representation to geek and gaming spaces of all sorts. It is a nonprofit, and it is a place that I'm happy to remotely call home. There are many ways in which you can support us, and the first and foremost is that you can be here, you can watch our shows, you can chat in our chat, you can join our Discord, you can follow us on Twitter. You can follow us on Instagram. You can follow other people and tell them about Geek Space and tell them to follow us. No, don't follow other people. That's never good. There are other ways. With consent. With consent. There are other ways you can support us if you want. You can subscribe here on Twitch. There should be a subscribe button probably over there. If you have Amazon Prime, you have a free subscription. You can also join us on Patreon if you like. You can give us bits or donations. There should be a donation bar down. No, that's actually up there too. A donation bar over there if you like for our weekly costs that help us pay the cast and pay the rent and pay for the internet and bring all of this wonderful content to you. And we have at this moment 4 days of content a week. On Mondays, we have an art show, Inklings with Steph. On Wednesdays, we have Worlds Beyond, run by Random Tuesday. On Thursdays, we have both Behind the Screens and Wind Down. And here on Saturdays, we have Night Witches. So we have lots and lots of excitement here at the Geek Space, and I hope you can join us for all that you can and support us in any way that you feel so moved. Before we get our opening credits by the amazing, by a lot of amazing people who did our credits, Iffy and also Lizard Eats Flies, I want all of our amazing cast to introduce themselves. First off, in the upper left, we have Mac. Why don't you tell us who you are, where we can find you, and what you do?
Hey guys, I am Mac Beauvais. You can find me wherever great social media is sold as @StrangeLikeThat. So that is the Facebooks, the Instagrams, and the Twitters. I am a gamer, werewolf fanatic, actor / everything else that I could possibly get my hands on because I love doing everything. Too much, in fact.
That's fair. How about lower left, Maggie?
Hey, I'm Margaret. You can find me at Margaret Crone in all the places, or check out my website, margaretcrone.com. Super easy. I do a lot of tabletop stuff as well, if you want to check out that. And I play games and things, and I work for a game company. So if you're interested in that kind of stuff, come check out my stuff.
Woo. Upper right, we have Fox. Tell us about yourself.
Yes, I am Rocket Fox, and I too can be found on all the social medias. If you look up Rocket Fox, that's with an ETTE, anywhere, odds are you'll find me, or probably something else interesting. I do a lot of gaming, performance, illustration, and I help run a nonprofit called Superheroines, etc., with the mission to empower women and those who identify as women to embrace their inner nerd. And if you want to check that, that's at superheroesetc.org.
Thank you. And in our lower right...
Hi, I'm Shell Game. You can find me on Twitch and Twitter and Instagram as The Shell Game. If you want to catch more information about me, be here in Seattle and check out Unexpected Productions or Worlds Beyond at 7 o'clock on Wednesdays, Pacific Standard Time, of course.
Of course. And I am Trooper SJP, and I am your game moderator for today, and hopefully also other weeks as well, because that would be awkward. And
Seeing your like one of your tweets today I was like, okay. Yeah, he's okay.
I'm still the GM. And
It is full of the unexpected though, so you never know.
you never know. And you can find me on Trooper SJP on Twitch, and you can find me at the Academic Foxhole on Twitter. So all of that said, I would like to hand us over to our amazing credit sequence before we begin episode 3, Graduation. And welcome to episode 3 of Night Witches, Toil and Trouble, Graduation. I would like to start our episode, as we always do, with a quote from an actual Night Witch. This quote is from Captain Claudia Ilushina, who was the engineer, the main engineer of the regiment. And she said, "My duty during the war was as engineer of the equipment installed in the aircraft, and I was responsible for its maintenance and proper operation. The equipment in the PO2 was quite simple, but I had a heavy workload because the regiment had many planes, and each night I had to see each one. When I first came to the regiment, I was not pleased. I wasn't used to working with girls, for I had always worked with men. The girls seemed noisy, and some of them were naughty. The ground personnel, I mean the mechanics, were from very common strata of society, from factories, from working families. The pilots and navigators and technical staff all came from universities and colleges, and they were not homogenous. It irritated me in the first period of my service, but later on, after I was in closer contact with the girls, we all became like sisters. Up to the present day, we call all members of our regiment sisters." Welcome. So, I would like to say last time on Night Witches, our crew came back from a disastrous mission where one of the members, Sergeant Nikita Volkova, decided to abandon the mission early rather than go through terrible badness. And she was taken away by the secret police for an interview. The rest of the team, some of them went off to the medical tent, the others went off to their barracks, where they found a young man, Alexei Popov, tied up in his underwear, and an inspector and the deputy politruk waiting outside for them. They're able to hide Alexei in Anastasia's trunk and get away with those shenanigans. They sort of deal with that process of failure. They rally some, and then they go to Lena Dozmanova goes to work on her plane, which is now dubbed Lil Clipper, and she finds that the men of the 218th have graffitied all over it and messed with their yokes a bit. And swearing revenge after a brilliant and very successful flying mission, the women of Squadron 2, Section C, decide to get their revenge. And they all sneak over to the men's side of the barracks, where they paint lots and lots of very different, colorful, and welcoming things on the men's planes. Less welcoming. But they get away with it. A little. But they get away with it. And they sort of they come back from that. They're doing very well. Lena, however, is quite hungover, not feeling so well. And they get a lesson from the politruk Olga Barsukova about treason, what it is, and why you don't want to do it, because she will kill you, or your family, or maybe both. And we finished our session sort of at the end of that moment as the women are thinking about going on to their very next mission. But I would like us, before we start and dive into that, to introduce all of our characters. So if you could introduce which character you're playing and what you look like, and something about your character for all of us here in the audience. And why don't we start with Mac?
Hey, everybody. I am playing Sergeant Nikita Volkova. She's kind of a rakish, wiry build with short cropped auburn hair, olive eyes, very freckled. And she's got a bit of a shenanigan streak about her. And I'm really sad I missed the last episode.
And by the way, I ask that they give a description of their character in case we have artists who want to draw fan art of them. So you know what they look like. Maggie, if you might introduce your character.
Yeah, sure. I am playing Irina Alberg, who is, people found out that she's from a pretty large family. She has six siblings in her family. So she talked a lot about that. And she is a new member of their group who just joined them last time, as she found out that there were some people who got removed and her team didn't succeed in their last mission. She is kind of, even when she's trying to be serious, you can tell that she's got like this kind of sly look on her face, and her blue eyes are just like, there's a fire in there. And she has like crazy frizzy brown curly hair, pretty much like this giant mess that's on my head right now. And her uniform is not always well kept or taken care of either. And she's very stout and strong and very tall. She kind of almost looks androgynous to some extent because she's pretty like burly. Yeah.
Fox.
So my character is Titania Petrova. She is from Leningrad, which is currently under siege. So there's an element of concern about her family back home. She is very buttoned up, everything kind of more of a pressed sense to her. She has kind of a very tight black bob, and almost a little more delicate featured, but trying very hard to keep this group on track and together.
And Shell Game.
I am playing Yelena Dosmanova. She goes by Lena for the most part, and she's a very petite, small person who constantly looks rumpled. She could have just pressed her uniform, and somehow by the time she gets it from ironing it to putting it on her body, there will be wrinkles. She is very passionate about taking care of Russia and being patriotic and doing the right thing, but she is horrible at interpersonal conflicting discussions and communications. If it's all happy and good, she's usually fine, but the second it becomes threatening or aggressive, she's the first one to bail on the conversation.
And as a status report for everyone to know where we're at, currently, Junior Lieutenant Petrova has got 2 harm. She was injured in a plane crash in the first mission, sort of messing up her leg, as was Anastasia Sheremetova, her fellow flyer, her fellow airwoman, who's also injured. They both have 2 harm at the moment, and rather than taking a day off or resting, they kept doing shenanigans, so they have not gotten better. At this moment, Lena is hungover, and so she has 1 harm, so we have some harm amongst our team. And also, they're missing 1 plane that was destroyed in that crash, but that's where they're currently at. Let's roll back in time just a little bit to that moment after that first disastrous mission, when all of the airwomen are there's a bit of a hubbub, and Titania and Anastasia are being sort of moved off to the medical tent. And Masha Rudina, the training officer, says to the rest of the women, go to your barracks and I will have a debriefing when I get back. And she goes off to follow the Anastasia and Titania. And as soon as she's gone, up walks Svetlana Sheremetova, Anastasia's sister, who watches her sister being moved off towards the medical tent. And she turns to Nick and she says, Comrade Sergeant Volkova. It's not just her, she actually has 2 guardswomen who are armed next to her. And she says, the NKVD would like to interview you about your performance in this first training mission. If you'll come with us.
Of course.
And as you're walking, right, she does not follow her sister to the medical tent. She walks with you. And you and these 2 guards start walking away, and you're sort of out of sight of the rest of your fellow airwomen, when someone, a young man, rushes up to her and says, pardon me, Senior Lieutenant. I've just heard that there may be something of interest in the barracks of 2C. And Senior Lieutenant Sheremetova goes, what do you mean something of interest? And this man, and you can tell by his uniform that he is also a senior lieutenant, and he says, I got word that the women in that section have a man in their barracks, and if we can catch them, then you might be able to, well, I know you have stress with, what was her name, Rudina? This might give you what you need, evidence to take her down. And Sheremetova goes, guards, pardon me, Sergeant Volkova, these guards will escort you to a waiting room, and we will come to see you after I'm done with business. And she has this eager look. She seems very excited about this opportunity to get back at Rudina in some way. You don't know what that's all about, but something is happening there. And she leaves you as you are taken off. You're brought into a room, and this room it's basically a cell, but I mean, it's basically a cell. And you're placed in this room, and nobody comes to see you. You have guards that bring you food, although they won't talk to you, as if they don't want to get, they don't want to catch whatever sort of shenanigans you might have. And you're sitting there and you're waiting and you're waiting and you're waiting for them to come and talk to you. And they don't. And as you're waiting, it occurs to you after a day, tonight is the night that you would have your second training mission. And they've not come to interview you or let you go. And as you're sitting there in the darkness, as the night falls, you can hear the planes taking off, and you're not with your section. And then the next day, finally, a woman walks in, an older woman. You've seen her before on the parade grounds, sort of a round, warm woman, sort of gray hair in a bun, a little bit of wrinkles. She smiles and she walks in. This is Captain of State Security Olga Barsukova, the politruk of your unit. She walks in and she smiles at you warmly. And she sort of snaps, and one of the guardswomen comes in with a tray of chai tea. And She comes in and she places the tray on the table. And Captain Barsakova sits down at the table and says, "Oh, please, would you please pour a glass for our comrade sergeant here, and also one for myself. And I am so sorry that I couldn't be here earlier. I had so much business. Please come and sit down and have a chat with me."
Nick is going to look very confused, but sit down and wait to be addressed and spoken to versus jumping in.
I'm so sorry it took me so long to be here, but I hope at least that some time here sitting gave you some time to reflect on all that has happened in the last few days. I find reflection so good just so good for oneself, don't you think?
Yes, there was definitely a lot of very solitary time to think.
I'm so glad. I wanted to read you something that I thought you might find interesting. And she pulls out like a little card, and she says, 2 articles that I am very, very intimately involved with, that I care very much about, that it is my job to enforce and to make sure that are not violated. And those would be Article 58 and Article 133. My job as the politruk is to make sure there are no violations of these orders. And let me, and she just picks it up and she puts these little glasses on. Let me just read them to you. I think you'll find them very, very interesting. Article 58 says, "A counter-revolutionary action is any action aimed at overthrowing, undermining, or weakening the power of the workers' and peasants' Soviets and the government of the USSR, or at undermining or weakening the external security of the USSR and main economic, political, and national achievements of the proletariat revolution." And Article 133 reads, "To defend the motherland is the sacred duty of every citizen of the USSR. Treason to the motherland, violation of the oath of allegiance, desertion to the enemy, impairing the military power of the state, espionage, is punishable with all severity of the law as the most heinous of crimes." And that, of course, that means death, usually firing squad. And it is I who decides those things. Of course, we might have a tribunal, might not, but I want everyone to be successful. So, let me ask you a question. In your first mission, you abandoned it. You abandoned your comrades and your duty to Mother Russia. Now, did you abandon it because you are a wrecker seeking to undermine our training and the Soviet Union, or did you undermine it because you were a coward and not fit to be here? Please, tell me what happened. I'm here to listen.
To be perfectly frank, it was neither of those things.
Oh.
There were some complications, and to continue the mission would have been more disastrous and more of an undermining of the cause that we're all here to serve.
Are you not willing to give your life for the motherland?
Oh, absolutely, but shouldn't it be given in a way that is best useful to the cause and best serves our cause versus needlessly throwing away a life on for nothing?
Was that mission stressful? Did it upset you?
Only that I wasn't able to carry it out to its fullest.
I understand. This, by the way, is an informal interview, and I need you to make a roll. And if you are lying, then you're rolling luck. If you're telling the truth, that's guts. Do you feel that you're being deceptive or that you're being completely honest?
I'm actually being honest with her because I didn't want to turn back on the mission, but it seems stupid to have wasted life on something that was ultimately not going to be successful.
So this is going to be roll guts, but before you roll it, you got a regard slot from that first mission. where you can open up some kind of strength of feeling for either a person or your plane. And I would like to ask, and that feeling can be positive or negative, it can be any sort of a thing. And I would like to ask, before you roll, because it might be relevant, what do you do with your regard slot?
Can I have negative regard for Anastasia?
Yes, you can.
She undermined so much about that first mission that it certainly didn't help us in our cause.
So tell me, what is the feeling you have for
her? Disgust. Okay.
You have disgust towards Anastasia. It is done. And so now, please, give me a guts roll.
Yeah, there's this spot on the regard section where you can write that down too.
Yeah.
What do we have?
All right, let me roll here. Guts. Let's see. Oh, why are you not pulling up? We did this earlier and it was fine.
I think we have you.
Roll command. Oh, I had to select my token.
There you go.
Derp. Whoops.
Ooh.
Yay!
Oh, I love a good failure.
I'm really looking forward to being executed.
So, you failed in this one. So, she looks to you and she says, you thought you knew better what was good for the Soviet Union than your commanding officer, I take. That's too bad. You know, could we have a short discussion about something else?
What would you like to discuss?
Well, I have some concerns, and I thought that perhaps you, considering how much trouble you're in, might be helpful in those concerns.
Of course, anything to further the cause of Mother Russia.
Yes. You know, you've not qualified yet for your training. You, unfortunately, it was an oversight that we couldn't see you earlier, happened to miss your training last night, which means you only have one training mission left with which to qualify. 2 different skill sets, and I don't know how you'll do that. It seems very difficult, and I know you want to graduate.
Absolutely.
Of course. And I know you don't want any black marks on your record after a terrible, terrible choice you made to abandon your mission. That's true, yes?
In so many words.
So, I think that we could be very good friends if, and I could help you out, because I like to think of myself as like a mother to you all. Someone who could help you out when you're in need, if you help me out.
And in what way can I be of service?
Well, I have a concern about the regiment. My concern is that I think there are some people in the regiment who are not good for Mother Russia, who really are dangerous people, but I don't have proof of that just yet. Specifically, I'm concerned about, and she takes out this piece of paper that has some notes on it. I'm concerned about Senior Lieutenant Masha Rudina, your training officer. I have heard that I don't want to shock you. I know that you, being a good Soviet, might be scandalized by what I'm about to say, and I'm sorry for your delicate sensibilities, but it is my understanding that Senior Lieutenant Rudina is a woman of the twilight, a lavender woman?
I understand your meaning.
Yes, but I've not been able to prove it. But it's what I have come to believe, and I also understand that there may be multiple women of this sort of persuasion in the unit, and of course that cannot stand. I think that you could help me out by perhaps finding evidence of such proclivity in Comrade Senior Lieutenant Rodina or anyone else in the unit who may not be willing to give everything to the motherland as they need to.
And if there's evidence to the contrary?
I would be very surprised if that were the case. But I'm interested in rooting out bad influences. And I know that you will help me do that. Won't you?
I will do my duty to the best of my abilities.
I'm glad. So, just for now, I will let you go back to your unit. I'm sure they're anxious to see you. And all I want from you is for you to help yourself by finding those women who are not loyal to the motherland.
Understood.
Good. And I do expect to find evidence, and I'm sure you will find it no matter what. Yes?
I will find what there is to be found.
And what there is to be found are people who are guilty, and I know you'll find it.
Is that all?
Oh, would you like some more chai?
I am just fine.
Oh. Well, it has been so lovely getting to know you, and I'm sure we'll get to know each other much better over the years of the war, and I'm sure we'll have a long and happy relationship. You're free to go.
Thank you for helping me see the error of my ways.
Oh, it is my pleasure. Now, I hope that you qualify in your last mission, and if you need any help making sure that you get your wings, I will be looking out.
Thank you.
My pleasure. And just note, I'll always be looking out for you.
Of that, I am extremely certain.
Oh, good. And she motions to the door so that you may leave.
I get my ass out of there.
And as you walk out of that cell, right outside the door is Svetlana Sheremetova, who is looking smug, just leaning up against the wall, and she just nods to you.
I resist making a very rude gesture. But just barely. Like, Comrade Umbridge there. Out, all right?
And you make your way back to the barracks. And in this barracks, we have some injured people, some hungover people, some people who are looking a little satisfied with themselves, actually, I imagine, and a new woman you've never seen before.
Does she walk in as me and Tanya are like listening to hear the boys like freaking out?
Yes. Yes.
Nick makes a move, like as if she's gonna go over and see what the interest is, but instead turns and goes sort of sullenly to her bunk.
I think Lena like lifts her head up from the pillow when the door opens, and she like looks over at you and she's like, "You're back." And then she just face plants into the pillow again.
Is Anastasia in Nick's bed?
Yes. Yes, she
Okay.
is. Nick, Anastasia's in your bed.
Before she actually gets over there, Titania goes over to her. Nick, you're back. What happened?
We'll see how long I'm back for. I was I got some very special treatment thanks to our failed mission. And by special treatment, I mean that maybe it's best not to speak about it.
And Anastasia looks at you and she's like, Nick, hi, welcome back.
Get out of my bed.
Do we know that she was taken by the secret police?
Yes, you
Would I
do.
know this?
Well, everybody else knows it, and I'm sure they've told you in the interim.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't even know who she is.
Yeah, you don't know who she is. Some woman walks in that everyone's happy to see.
Yeah,
Like
so
I would have told you.
I feel like Titania would get very serious at that point, you know, and look her very sincerely in the eyes. And, you know, what did they ask you?
And I think even though they haven't known each other very long, she can see that this is not Nick. There's sort of this weird sort of haunted look to her face, because normally she seems kind of smirky and jovial about stuff, you know, maybe a little sardonic, but just this is like blanched out, just kind of not having any of it.
And by the way, take one harm. Nick has one harm for all that stress.
I'm gonna ruin their moment. I'm listening, and then as I see as the guys are calming down, I turn around and I'm just like, I just walk up to the two of them and I'm like, oh, are you one of the people who crashed your planes? I'm Irina. I like extend my hand.
Did not crash a plane. Not a great intro, and not a good time.
I look at Titania then.
Titania doesn't even break eye. She's still looking at Nick. What did they say? What did they do to you?
I am lucky that I was able to walk back here and not be carried out of this camp.
Do talk outside.
What did you do?
Who are you?
I just said Irina.
And Anastasia says, she's part of our section now. Oh, wait, there are 7 of us.
So Titania kind of turns to where everyone's in her periphery. I think with the things that were taken and the interest that the secret police have clearly taken in us, we're going to have to watch our backs and each other's.
And Anastasia says, my sister's the deputy politruk. I'm sure everything will be fine.
Irina kind of backs away from the two of them and is like, whoa, they took things from you? Like, did you have something that you weren't supposed to have? I mean, other than the alcohol.
My journal, they took, and this is all muffled from the pillow. She's like, my journal, I made it and they took it. It is so beautiful. But seriously, can we just be quieter?
Why would they
Well, I don't think you're going to get that while you're in this barrack, but I'm not either. And just stops middle of the sentence and just turns and goes back outside.
Titania's gonna follow her.
I kind of grab Titania's shoulder before she goes out the door to follow her, and I'm like, hey, I don't want any trouble. So if you guys are doing something that you're not supposed to, I want to know now so I can get out of this situation.
I think that ship sailed when we painted the men's planes.
Hey, that was all fun and games. I'm not into doing anything against the rules here. Is that why she had that conversation with us this morning?
At this point, I think it's hard to tell, but they put you here for a reason, and I don't really think you're going to be getting out of that.
I just kind of give her a look at, I'm guessing you walk out the door.
I do. I'm gone. Goodbye.
I'm like, what the hell?
And so outside of the barracks, we have Nick and Titania, and it's the sort of it's dusk, right? It's sort of becoming evening, and you have a mission coming up very soon, and it's going to be like your last training mission, where you're going to actually go and bomb some Nazi sort of surveillance positions that are not too far away. You'll be supervised, but that's a bit of a tension about actually going in against actual Germans, Nazis. Tonight, very soon, is sort of weighing over as the cold Soviet winter is turning to darkness, and you two are out there, outside of the barracks. You can, out in the distance, you see women walking back and forth from one place to the other, and people hustling and bustling, and you're out there in this one moment, in a sort of kind of a quiet space with that crispness in the air. Please.
So Titania asks in a way that she is meaning more by it, but are you going to be able to fly tonight?
I have to. It's not going to be a choice there. I was threatened. My life was threatened for my actions during the last mission that we flew. And now I've been asked to root out potential quote unquote lavender women within our unit. So here we are, us women finally doing something to help Mother Russia, and there's this infighting that I'm not even a part of, that I have to deal with now. And why is Anastasia in my bed?
Well, Titania is going to move in front of her so that she's like right in front of her, looking her in the face, and going to completely ignore the Anastasia question for right now, because that's going to have to come in time.
Before you respond, this counts as a reach out from you, Nick.
It's my time to shine.
Because you revealed a significant new truth. I would like you to make that 2d6 roll to reach out.
All right, here we go. Here it is.
No, this is Nick's roll.
There it is. I believe in you.
Oh, okay. Dice don't fail me now. No! Why is everything...
Why?
Okay.
Oh my God. That's like that fifth roll.
Like so much.
To heal you.
So,
Like,
Oh man.
I just want you, by the way, Titania, to take that in. She shared with you this significant new information about how she's supposed to be rooting out people, and you just take in that failure. Go on.
So at this point, Titania is going to feel a little concerned about all of this, and perhaps like she can't completely trust Nick, since she was able to share that amount of information that is her new prerogative. So what other kind of sorts of things might she be up to? So that's going to be kind of percolating back there. That being the case, she does also acknowledge that we are part of a team. And where one fails, we all fail. So I think she's going to still try and help her feel better. So at that point, pretty much she's going to say, whatever we do, there's always going to be people who are trying to bring us down. That's the nature of where we are as people forging a new path, but you wouldn't be here if you couldn't fly. And I believe that you can, so just focus on that. And then she's going to just kind of go back inside.
And that is when...
I'm not going to be in there whenever she comes back inside.
Oh, please. You head in, and inside the inside the barracks, Anastasia is still reading her magazine. Winces every once in a while because she did take a pretty good knock to the ribs. Polya is napping, as she often does, before this night mission. And Sarah's just nervous about what's happening. What is everyone else doing in these barracks?
I think Lena was face down in her pillow, but when the door opens again, she's like, she recognizes, she like looks up and then she realizes how late it is. And so she's like, I have got to pull myself together. I got to prep for this mission. Mother Russia is counting on me. So she like goes to swing her legs over the side of the bed and then she just sits there for a minute. And then she gets down. And she's just like, I don't think good vodka is good for me.
And Anastasia says, it's the best vodka, though. I got it from my sister.
Titania comes in and she's going to go over lots of wheels turning right now for a lot of various reasons. And so she's going to go over and kind of get into her bed, but her leg is still dangling off, evidently. So she's gonna get in there in quite a bit of visible pain.
And that's when Masha Rudin is going to show up. And she sees Nick, she sees you outside, and she goes, Volkova, come on in. Gotta get ready for your mission. Come on.
Yes, ma'am.
And she walks in and she goes, Petrova, outside, I need to talk to you. It's important.
Gets out of bed and follows.
She sees your limp. And when she gets outside, she says, all right, listen, this is important. You have got your last training mission tonight. Shortly. I need you to prep your section. I'm sure you've noticed that there are 7 of you. Not all 7 are going up tonight. You, Comrade Junior Lieutenant, are my section leader. You have currently only qualified on attack runs. You've not yet qualified for navigation.
Yes.
I need you to qualify for navigation tonight.
I will do this.
Also, I noticed that you've not been resting, you're still injured. Can you fly tonight? It's important.
I can.
I also think that I have noticed that Junior Lieutenant Sheremetova is also injured from that crash. And I think it would be best if she did not fly tonight. This will mean that she will not be fully qualified, but I think that's for the best.
I'll talk to her, but I tend to agree.
Listen, Leningrad, let me speak frankly.
Of course.
People who are not fully qualified will continue training with me when we get sent off to our first duty station, which will mean that you will have less time to do all the other things you need to do. It will cause a lot of stress. It's not something that is great. But from my records, Sergeant Irina Alberg and also Sergeant Lena Dozmanova are both fully qualified. Polya Makarova, Junior Lieutenant, she's also fully qualified. I think it will be fine. I'm concerned a little bit about Comrade Sergeant Volkova, her ability to get fully qualified. I suspect she will need to be in training. But as long as I think Junior Lieutenant Sheremetova is also in training, there will be no strong retaliations against those who've not yet fully qualified, because one would have to be fair to everyone not fully qualified. And
Of
I
course.
don't think that would, well, I think you get the understand, yes?
Yes.
And she hands 2 books to you. This belongs to Sergeant Rabinovich. It's her book of poetry. And this, and she looks at this hand-sewn journal that was made of like pieces of paper sort of stitched together by hand. It looks like a bit of a mess, really. This, I believe, belongs to Comrade Sergeant Dozmanova.
It does. I'll see that these get back to them.
I could not get back the Medal of St. Barbara that belongs to Junior Lieutenant Makarova, and that may be a problem. Religiosity is not looked well upon, and that good luck charm may be trouble, but I will do my best.
Well, I appreciate your efforts, and already this is more than we could have asked for.
Petrova, qualify tonight.
I will.
Okay. Prepare your section. And, well, prepare your section.
Of course.
And she leaves.
All right, so Titania goes back into the bunks and is just like, Lena, and just holds up the journal.
And Lena like grabs it and like holds it to her chest, and then she like tucks it into her pillowcase, and then she pulls it out, and then she tucks it under her bed, and then she pulls it out, and then she puts it into her locker.
And Sarah, same thing with the book of poetry.
She takes it. She looks through to see if everything's still there. Thank you, Commander.
As all of you know, tonight is our last night of training, and the last night to qualify for those of us who have not. So we will, she doesn't say slowly, but I do because I'm pulling up the information right now. So tonight is the first night that we are going to be bombing actual Nazi positions. Now, aside from the fact that this is the last opportunity for some of us to complete our training, this is also a very big opportunity for us to show everyone what it is that we can do, what we're capable of, and why they created this unit. So, that being said, Anastasia.
Yes, I'm so excited. Oh, am I going to be in your plane this time again?
Anastasia, as you are still injured, we feel like it would be the safest that you rest a little so that the next time you are going to be even more on top of the abilities that we all know that you have. Yes.
It's not because you're mad at me, is it?
No. I would never be mad at one of my friends.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
All right, so we have to put the stock the 3 planes, and so let's see, remind me who qualified for every, I know that Urina's qualified in everything.
And as is Lena.
Qualified in everything. It's Nick and myself who need to be, and then Nick, last time you were...
Nick is not qualified in anything yet. And you need to qualify in navigation. And you have no mission pool.
But I'm sure it'll be fine. So, Nick, what do you feel most comfortable in today?
None of these things.
All right. We'll make you...
Why don't I pilot something?
Yeah, well, you have strengths toward stuff, right? Do you have strengths toward piloting or navigation?
I believe towards navigation.
Okay. Do you want to try piloting, or do you want to? Because if you have,
well, actually, piloting might be rough because I have a negative in guts.
Yeah, let's try and stack the odds mostly in our favor. All right, so let's put you in 84. You will be navigating in 84.
Okay.
And then, let's see. Although, question for the GM.
Mm-hmm.
I need to qualify navigation too. We can't both roll, can we?
Oh, you can.
Why do you say it like that?
So when one of us fails, then the next person can try, I think is what I'm hearing.
No, you can both try. It's just that then you both have the opportunity to fail.
Okay, but if one of us passes, the other can still try?
Yes.
Okay, let's do this fun thing. All right. Actually, here's what I'm going to do. Lena, you are going to pilot Little Clipper because why wouldn't you? And I'm actually going to have Nick. I'm going to have you navigate.
FYI, I'm stronger in a navigation position.
But you'll still get. Would that bonus affect anyone if she's in
anything that she rolls in her plane? She'll get a +1 for.
So that'll cancel out my -1 in guts. We can do this.
I'm sure it'll be fine. I'm sure this will be fine. All right. So
all the way.
I think just so you all know, I'm the only one who's actually good at flying.
So Irina, you're gonna go in the 84 with me because I need you so. And I'll be navigating there. And then in the 13th, we are going to have Polina. Polia.
Yeah, Polia is the nickname for Polina.
We're going to go by nicknames because we're close. Polia is going to be flying, and Sarah's going to be navigating. Ladies, does anyone have any questions about your assignments?
Anastasia raises her hand.
Yes.
I have something for all of you.
What's that?
And she goes to her trunk, right? The steamer trunk that she has. She's the only one that also has like an additional steamer trunk. She goes in and she says,
Mary Poppins in that thing.
She is. She's like, I've been working really hard. And then she brings out these little like friendship bracelets that she has sort of woven.
Oh my goodness.
She says, I made one for each of you. And I thought that it would bring all of us good luck. So when you go fly tonight, good luck and bomb Nazis and make Mother Russia proud. And I'll be waiting here for when you get back. And she hands each of you a friendship bracelet.
Thank you.
Lena's gonna like put hers on, and then she's gonna be like, this is the first present for me.
I knew how to make them. I just didn't have anyone to give them to when I was growing up because I was always in practice. So now I have them.
Well, thank you. Thank you, Anastasia. I think that these will definitely help us. All right, is everyone ready?
Who is lead pilot, who's lead navigator, and who's on Vedomaya, wingwoman?
Oh man, okay. Let's have Irina, you are going to be lead pilot.
All right.
And so another question.
Oh yeah.
For navigation.
Mm-hmm.
So if we're both to roll for navigation, does it matter which one of us is lead navigator, or is it just more disaster waiting to unfold?
Well, the lead navigator has to roll. The other person does not have to. The other person, who I presume would be Vedomaya, can roll, but they also have the ability to cover somebody else and take damage for them or consequences for them if things go really poorly.
All right, I'm going to be lead navigator. Nick, you're going to be Veramaya. And we're going to assume that this will work itself out well. We have bracelets now.
Oh, yeah, that'll be great. I'll just throw the bracelet at the Nazis.
When you say that, Irina's like, yeah, I'm not sure the bracelets are going to help with this part, but appreciate it.
Hey, I'll take all the help I can get at this point.
I know you'll do great.
Can Lena's like admittance that this is the first like friendship present that she's ever received be considered a reach out?
You reaching out to me? I did hear that. I heard when she said it.
I feel like that'd be more Anastasia than...
I heard when Anastasia said that too. I hear everything.
That does feel like a reach out to Anastasia.
Yeah.
I think you should roll it. It's a 2d6.
Yep. Once I click me.
What do we got?
It's a fail.
Oh
my gosh.
Reach out is not working for you all. So Anastasia is going to
There's a lot of misunderstanding here.
Anastasia is going to misunderstand this reach out in the most exciting way.
Oh no.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Oh no. Oh no. Oh no.
I'm just going to make a note.
Oh, don't. Oh, don't do that. You don't need to make a note.
No. I'll make a note.
Okay.
Anastasia misunderstands the reach out.
Oh.
And
Okay.
and she just gives you this funny look. You don't really know what it is. And then you all have to go off to fly. Oh, that was
no.
That was a gift.
This will work out well. I didn't make you lead pilot, so you can just sit with that. Sit with your emotions.
Hey, audience. Cast, don't listen. Audience, it's gonna be good. And as you make your way out to the flight line, there's Mel and her mechanic armorers, and they're out there by these planes. Your planes are all lined up on your sort of sad flight line. You're in your auxiliary flight, and you're moving yourself to the Tambov airstrip, which is small and awkward, and you've got your planes lined up. And Mel and her mechanic armorers are there, and they're moving these bombs carefully and attaching them by hand to the planes. And the planes look beautiful. They're all well painted and set up. And they give you space to climb in these planes and get ready.
I think Mel or Elena's gonna like give a nod to Mel as she heads toward the plane. It's gonna be, a chill nod because the headache's still there. But it is gonna be like a sort of like, hi, see you, thank you, sort of thing.
And Mel gives you a wink, like a very a comradely wink. And she walks up to Junior Lieutenant Petrova, and she goes, Junior Lieutenant, she salutes.
Yes.
I've checked the planes. I've slept with them. Everything is fine. I think you're ready to go. And we'll be waiting for you to come back safe.
Wonderful. And Titania's going to make a small attempt to get in, climbing into the plane, and then she's going to request Mel to help her get in.
Irina will probably help you, but I think before we...
someone somewhere is going to have to help her get into this plane.
Before we get into the plane, actually, though, I think Irina kind of like takes Lena by the arm and is like, you better have my wing. She kind of winks at you and walks over to her plane.
Lena is going to be like, I've always got your wing. I mean, yeah, of course. Also, it's the Clipper. It's not going to let us down.
I'll be keeping my eye on you. And she walks forward.
And Mel says, hey, Swede.
Lena's going to turn around.
No, she says that Swede would be Irina.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
Swede, kick some Nazis.
That's the plan. And she keeps walking. She doesn't even turn around to respond to that one.
Just like an explosion. Don't even turn around when the explosion happens.
She just says that's the plan. She walks over and she sees Titania Titania having trouble getting in. She's like, that leg bothering you? You should really get it checked out.
Yeah, it's not great.
I like help her up.
Thank you.
But I admire it. The continuing on even through it. Sounds like something to do.
Thank you. I was gonna say I can maybe you'll get one of your own if you admire it that much.
Let's hope not. I rather am fond of my legs. She kind of winks at her and like pops into the front seat.
It's a bad joke because she's in pain.
And off you are in these planes, and the propellers are started, and you fly off as the sun sets in the dark Russian winter. And as you're flying off, the 218th, they're here to escort you, to make sure that you do this mission properly. And as you're flying off, you can catch, right, some of these planes have been hastily painted over, but yet there's still little bits of graffiti popping out.
It looks like the boys are here to babysit us. Can handle the names on their planes, though.
I think it adds some character.
Should have kept them. I really like the flowers.
Yeah, added a nice spark to it. Shame.
And off you go towards these forward positions. And I need our lead navigator, who would be Petrova, to make your wayfind roll. And that is a skill roll.
Oh, yay. Hang on, where'd my skill? All right. Do I? No, I don't have anything I can lean on for this. All right.
Are you rolling a 0? Like a flat 0? It's better than a negative.
Who's to say what I'm rolling? It's a mystery. It's a nighttime mystery. All right, skill, you say?
Yes, please.
And
Oh no! Even.
Okay.
Oh.
It does not go well.
So it is dead of night. It is winter. You have no lights. You need to, and you are not really trained in navigation, and you need to bring this plane, you have all this pressure on you. You need to bring this plane to the entire section to the target. So you can't find it. You can't find it. You can't find the target. So you have a choice. You can abandon the mission and return in shame and probably meet your best friend, Captain Olga Varsakova, for a chat.
Yeah. You don't want that option.
Or, alternately, you can make your own, you have to do an attack run late and alone with no support. And that would be Irina who has to make that run.
I mean, I say for the second, Irina, what's your... I mean, she gets a say in this too, I would imagine.
Well, you get to choose whether or not you push forward. She'll have to make the run, though. She has to make the run anyway.
You have to make the run anyway. I believe in you. You're so good. You're so talented.
I guess, yeah, just we can role play like what you're saying to me.
You're
as
so lovely.
So just so you know, Irina, just at this moment, you're in the front cockpit, right? Mm-hmm. And Titania is the one who's leading you to the place, and you're flying, and you know you should be there already, but you're not there.
What's going on?
I think what would happen with Titania is that at a certain point, the pain and the fact that she's been running around on, her injury and like not been getting treatment for a little bit. At a certain point, she's just like groaning back there. Like she's just like, oh.
You okay back there? Also, I'm feeling like we should have been to the spot yet. What's going on?
She's out of it. I'm out of it.
Oh, you're just gonna leave it to me. All right.
I mean, I can't see what's going on.
Well, I guess it's just us. I'm gonna go. Keep going. I'm not turning away from a mission.
Okay.
Irina, I know you're
well for us, but we'll see.
well, and Tania's gonna say too, Irina, I know you're new to our squad, but you came because you're extremely good at what you do, and I believe that you can do it.
So, question here.
Yes.
Does that mean the other planes that were with us are not there, or is Clipper and all of the other planes with us?
You've lost them. You don't know where they are.
Gotcha. All right.
You're isolated, alone.
I will roll with no bonuses then. Oh shit.
Man alive.
I get a +2 to that too. Did it actually add it?
I think it did.
It did.
Yeah. All right.
Is there a way to do different dice? This is terrible.
You
This
could
is
I already
terrible.
changed my dice color.
And
I've
you
changed
can,
my dice color like 3 times.
and you can also refresh your browser, I think also helps.
Oh man.
So we need to have a short talk, Irina, about what you want to do.
Okay. What are my options?
You have some options. You can abort the attack. So just say there's no way we can do this, forget it, and then come back home in shame. That is that is an option. And visit your friend. Or you can desperately press on and decide to go through anyway by tempting fate.
How does the tempting fate stuff work?
Well, tempting fate is a guts roll. And
Okay.
if you fail, you're going to take a mark in addition to other negative consequences.
Gotcha.
But you can, it's kind of desperate right now. You are trying to find your way through. You're not successful at it.
Also, they're probably going to execute us if we go back in shame. I'm just throwing that out there.
I feel like my character's gutsy, and she
Yep.
knows that you don't turn back from mission. So I think she's gonna try anyway, at least to do her best.
Yeah, that's a tempt fate. That's a guts roll.
All right, let's do it. Let's do it.
Mm.
Oh, I gotta click my character.
I believe in you.
Heart of the cards.
All right. I wish I could blow on the dice, but I can't.
I know.
Blow on your computer screen?
Yeah.
Oh,
Partial? An 8? Good.
okay.
That's more partial success than fail.
Yeah.
We've had bad luck today.
Man, I've been living with bad luck. This is terrible.
Okay.
Combined. Last episode was we did everything fine.
So this is a partial success, but it's a partial success. So first off, you need to choose 2 negative consequences. And I will give you your choice. 2 of these 4. The damage to the target is not significant, and it's your fault. You fly through a storm of flak, which triggers enemy fire, which means they're all going to shoot at you, which I don't recommend, because your navigator is not a good navigator, is not specialized in navigation.
Correct.
A plane in your section is damaged, and I get to choose, or you and your fellow airwoman are marked.
I feel like it's fair to say that we're both marked.
Fair?
I think that's fair.
Mm-hmm.
What was the first option again?
The damage to the target is not significant, and it's your fault.
I feel like that would make the most sense too. I feel like both of those make complete sense.
Yeah.
So before we move on this one, I want you to take your marks. What marks do you take?
Oh, that's a fine question.
And I will note that you do have advance and grow, which will give you an advance. That is one of the few marks that is not negative.
Let's see.
I feel like I'm disgracing myself because I feel like this is not what Irina would feel like. She doesn't feel proud of what she's done.
Mm-hmm. And we'll take that as a present moment. That is a present moment for you. Okay?
Yeah.
And we're going to come back to that. What about you, Titania?
How about,
And remember, you can always advance and grow. That gives
I
you.
know, but that doesn't seem fair after all that I've put us through.
You're like, I cannot take bonuses right now.
Right. I led us astray. Oh man, I feel like I've really learned something from all
Yeah, I
this.
feel like there's some things where it's failure and you learn from your failure.
That's right.
I feel like this is one of those like, oh shit.
Right. Let's go ahead and say, if I were to make a friend, because I'm going to assume I wouldn't take Irina as a lover, like, is that mutual, or does she have to be my friend if I make them?
No, that can be anyone. That could be something, that can be a future thing that can happen in the future. This can be a moment where you think this really solidifies your friendship with her. You get to make that choice.
And then we become lovers. It's all good.
I mean, hey, now that Gal said there's some lavender, I don't know what a lavender woman is. I'm sorry. I was
making assumptions this entire time.
I know, I've been kind of assuming that's what it means, but like, I don't actually.
It is. Because lavender is a mix between red and blue, pink and blue, which clearly means it was old slang for queer life, actually, in the 20s and 30s and into the 40s. So if you were a lavender woman, side trivia, you know the Indigo Girls, the band, the Indigo Girls? Indigo is lavender, so they were just telling everybody that they were lesbians, but nobody knew the slang.
Aww.
All right. I apparently didn't know the slang either, so. All right.
The more
you know. We're going to do it. We're going to make a friend or take a lover. And if the avenue opens up to take a lover, I'm in.
Okay. We're in it.
And then Nick's looking for me. Which will add some excitement. So
hey, there are boys on this airbase.
That's right. And some of them are not gross.
We'll see what
more
happens.
dramatic if it's the other way, though. I feel.
Well, especially considering that they're out to get us. So.
Yeah, that's true.
So
options.
There are options now.
There are options. We'll see where the night leads us.
Irina, I want you to describe how this happens. Right? You have on your wings, out to the sides, right, sort of in a distant space, the men of the 218th who are supposed to be escorting you and observing you, but you have sort of broken off. And I want you to tell me how this bombing run goes that makes you feel as if you disgraced your uniform. Although still technically successful.
I feel like to Irina, she's like, I should have known better. Even if my navigator's telling me to go a direction and I can feel it in my guts that this isn't the right direction. And like, I knew we were like, it was too long. We must be too far away from the target. That like, I should have gone with my guts instead of just listening to who my navigator is. And I think I let myself get caught up in this like friendship frilly bracelet shit when it's like, I need to stop. Like there's much more pressing things that are going on. And she feels like, oh, she let like the friendship aspect of it, which she has never been a part of before, get into the way of things. And I think it kind of like pushes her into feeling like she's just really not done what she wanted to do. And they're not making another pass over that. Like what she dropped is what she dropped, and she, what the repercussions of that are.
Titania, tell me about your feelings in this moment as you push through and you drop these bombs a little bit off target. It's there, but the damage is minimal, and these are actual Nazi positions, and you know that the 218th is looking at you, that they've seen what you've done. How are you feeling right now?
Oh, my leg. Oh, oh God, I have regrets. I think it's about how I'm feeling.
Okay.
I think at one point, Irina's like, stop it. Just shut up. I need to concentrate.
Oh. Now, we have another plane that has a choice to make.
Oh boy, good luck. Have fun.
Yes.
Ooh, yeah.
Nick, do you want to make a navigation roll?
Oh, I would love to make a navigation roll.
You don't have to.
What could possibly go wrong?
You don't have to.
That's the spirit. Do it.
It could only go well.
For you, this will be a skill roll.
All right. All right. Here we go.
I'm ready.
What the?
Mhm.
Oh no,
Whoa!
that's bad. That's like a bad.
Whoa! What is
number.
wrong with these dice?
So
I don't know.
this is just like the last time.
Oh my god.
Just like the last time, you're trying to go out there and you're not finding it. You're getting mixed up again, and you have a choice. You can abandon it like you did that first time.
No, I don't have a choice. You say that. I don't. I'm not abandoning this time.
Okay. You know what that means?
Yep.
That
Everything
means
is garbage.
that means that Lena has to make an attack run.
Do it, Lena.
All right.
Sorry.
I feel like a lot of us have regard to you, so
So, Lena, before you do, I want to discuss this. You're sitting in the pilot seat, which is not the place you feel most comfortable.
Yeah.
And you're thinking it's okay. I'm going to be able to take care of other people, and you've got the 218th that's all around you, right? And they're buzzing sometimes too close, and they're distracting. They distracted all of you, and like you're sort of beginning to miss planes in your section. And I think it's the 218th, right? That are swooping in a little bit sometimes, that are pushing you all off course, and you're off course, and you're like, oh no. And it's not a good approach. It's not a good approach, but you can see this target, and Nick, rather than turning back around, pushes you forward. It's not a good attack vector, but it looks like she's lining you up to attack. It may not be great, but you're moving in.
It's Lena, and she is also like, she's doing this for Mother Russia. So she lines up and heads in and sprays
oh my.
and
Wait.
misses.
No,
What is going
no,
on?
you don't miss.
I don't?
No, because you're in Lil Clipper, which
Yeah.
means you get a +1.
She did add that.
Oh no, yeah, that's still a fail.
Yeah,
Oh, these
she added
dice.
it. I can, because you can hover over the number and see.
Yeah.
I was
So you have the same choice. Would you like to abandon this, knowing the attack vector is not good, coming back home, or do you want to tempt fate?
it's Lena. So she's gonna tempt fate.
That's guts.
I think part of what was throwing her off is like she made eye contact with Boris as she was headed in on this bad attack vector. And she like tried to jerk away, and then she was like, no, I've got to focus up.
Mm.
Okay.
All right, do the thing.
And she doesn't focus well enough.
Did you get your +1?
Yeah, she added +1.
Oh,
What's your guts roll?
It's a -1 because
Oh yeah.
because it's Lena. Because
Yeah.
Well, then
she
you
has no
added
guts.
extra. Like, why
Yeah.
is there +2?
Because there's the -1 for her actual gut skill, and then the +1 for the regard.
Oh, it is a -1.
Yeah.
I'm just blind.
Um.
It says +-1. It's weird.
So Lena, guess what?
Mm.
You're marked. Take a mark.
Oh,
What would you like? What mark would you like?
let's see.
Oh, yeah.
Boy.
What options do you have left?
Oh man.
She's only taken 1 mark so far.
Oh,
I've only
I have 2.
given Lil Clipper a very sassy personality.
Yes.
I think Lil Clipper didn't like my like jerk away, and like so Lil Clipper jerked back, and
It's
it
like,
was
no.
like, okay, come on, buddy, can we not work together on this? It wasn't like that. It was far more formal, but
God.
I think she's gonna share a painful truth about herself.
Okay. In the future, I take it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You don't want to scream it at Nick as we're doing a horrible attack run.
Painful truth.
So I'm going to tell you the result of this tempt fate. You move in there, and you can't get the attack run. You can't get the vector. The bombs don't go off right. They don't, like, you can't find a space to do it. And you have to come back. And as you're flying back, your regiment, your section is flying back. You, in Little Clipper, Lena, and Nick, you have to find a place to dump off these bombs. You have to dump them somewhere because you cannot land with these bombs, because if you land with the bombs, they might actually just explode. So you have to find a field somewhere sort of empty that you can drop them. So I will give you a choice. Would you like to drop them on a position that is far too close to Soviet troops? Or would you like to drop them in a place that is far too close to a Soviet village?
Soviet what now? Sorry,
Village.
Ooh,
What would you like?
troops or village? Oh,
Yeah, I'm with that.
Troops?
Troops.
Okay.
Yeah, I think we have to.
Oh.
Okay. So you don't get the vector. You can't find it. And as you're flying away, you realize you have to drop these bombs somewhere. And you're flying out, and it's dark, right? It's completely dark. You have no lights. And you see a village, and so you bank off so that you don't have to drop these bombs anywhere near the village. And there's a bit of a sort of fields, right? Sort of farming, right? Sort of cultivated fields and some rye. And you think, okay, I think this will be a safe place to drop them. And you go to drop them off, and you see the bombs exploding and the shrapnel going. And as you're moving away, you actually see troops out near where you dropped them. They look like infantry, and they look like yours. You don't know if you hit them or not, but you might have. You might have killed some of your own people in this disastrous mission.
Lena, her hands just start sweating profuse. Like she starts her cycle, her downward like PTSD spin into just everything is sweating. Her hands are shaking. So inevitably, like Little Clippers probably.
Yeah, I think Nick has sort of got that 1,000-yard sort of catatonic stare going on right now.
But you didn't abandon the mission. And your planes are not damaged. And you fly in. And there was a successful attack run done by Irina. Successful enough.
Partially.
Partially successful. And you land. And as you land, your planes come down. And all of the mechanic armorers are out there waiting for you to help you out of the plane. And you get out, and they're like, congratulations, because they don't know what happened on this mission. And you climb out of your planes, and they help you out, and Mel, right, helps you out, Titania, and the mechanic armorers are making sure everything is safe with the plane. And you can just hear the sounds of those bombs and the 218th buzzing by. And you move towards your barracks for your debrief. And you're waiting there for Masha Rudina to arrive. And you have a few moments before she does. And when you get in there, Anastasia, she's so excited. She's like, how did it go? Was it great?
Lena is going to start crying.
Oh.
Even Nick, who is still kind of staring, is going to kind of do that kind of pat on Lena's shoulder.
She's just going to like sit down like on the chairs that they have next to the table and just like drop her head into her hands and just like sit there for a second. And just keep crying.
I think Irina actually hands the bracelet to Anastasia and is like, not well. Probably want to take this back. And she goes and sits down. And is oddly not as boisterous and loud as she normally is.
There's a bit of a dark mood when Masha Radina walks in. She says, all right, debriefing time. I need to know. Section C, how did it go? What happened up there?
It did not go well.
Tell me more.
Well, and also Titania was trying to stand, but she's kind of like sinking into a chair at this point. Because of my injury, I was not able to navigate us properly. And I led the rest of our squad off course.
Alberg?
I didn't mean to drop them. I didn't mean to drop them there. I thought it was a safe spot. I thought it was going to be okay. Okay.
Wait, what are you talking about? What happened?
I'm also confused, so I'm like looking down, like what?
I dropped the bombs on our troops. I didn't think there was anybody there. I thought it was a field, and then when I looked down, it was just troops. It was just us. I dropped bombs on Mother Russia. And she like drops her head into her hands again.
Titania is also surprised by this.
Nick is just cringing.
Volkova? Is that what happened?
Irina has like a look of confused as fuck. Like that is not what happened.
Right.
From her perspective. So she's like, what?
Yes, that's what happened. Though I don't know that I don't think that anyone was actually injured.
Ma'am, if I may,
Please.
that's not what happened. At least not from my perspective. We found the target. We're able to partially drop bombs on it. I might have missed a turn, but target should be taken out to some extent. I'm not sure what they're on about.
You got some you get the target.
Affirmative. And I'm kind of like looking at Titania again because I'm confused.
So Titania's gonna say, while we were up there, the squad did end up getting separated.
You didn't qualify, did you, Leningrad?
No, ma'am, I did not.
This is going to give me a lot of trouble. A lot of trouble. I'm going to look into this, find out what the 218th said. They will have a report on your activity. I hope you have a good relationship with them, and that they will speak truthfully and honestly about your performance.
Irene is gonna like kind of like lean back in her chair and kind of like cross her arms because she knows that's not gonna go well.
Yeah.
All right. Get yourself together. We've got graduation coming. I'll look into this. Dosmanova. Natural-born airwomen don't burst into tears like this.
Yes, ma'am.
Get your uniform together.
May we go back to our bunks, ma'am?
Yes. We're going to the front line. Get yourself.
Titania's going to start gathering everyone to go back to decompress a little before the upcoming moment.
Can I stay back a moment
Mm-hmm.
when they all leave?
Yeah.
Okay. Ma'am, I don't know what's going on, but I think I should speak up.
Tell me what you have to say.
I'm not sure why you put me with this team. Is it a test?
No. It's not a test. Comrade Sergeant, you're a good pilot. This section needs good pilots. There are a number of very good navigators here, but this section needs more work on their piloting. And I knew that you would be a good influence on them. But more importantly, I've been trying to change the makeup of this squad. And if I had a good pilot to bring in, that meant that I could take someone else out of the section. I'm having a bit of trouble getting the person removed that I would like to have removed. And your presence, comrade, makes it easier for me to do what I need in terms of personnel. And I think you'll be good for them. Also, to be frank, some people in your old section complained about you.
What about? If you may.
I want you to tell me about the fight you had with one of your section leaders, one of your fellow section mates, one of the conflicts that you had in that last section after that disastrous mission that you did well on, but they did not.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like there's another pilot, and the two of us were always kind of like in competition with each other, like friendly competition. Yeah. But in this stance, they were supposed to be keeping an eye on one of the newer pilots in our team, and they lost track of them, probably due to their navigator, but I blamed them because as a pilot, like, Irina feels like even if your navigator is telling you to do something, you follow your gut. You don't always listen to what they have to say. And so we kind of actually got into like a physical fight, and they had to like break it up.
Says it was Ivanova, fellow pilot. I think you remember the incident after the first mission when you two got physical.
I'm sorry, ma'am. I've been trying to keep my cool ever since then. I took those anger management stupid courses. I've turned a new leaf.
I have been known to sometimes get physical with people who deserve it. I am not angry at you, but it is best that you and Ivanova not be in the same section.
Ma'am, that wasn't my concern about this team. Seems like they're hiding something else.
Really?
Ever since the first day I joined them, it seems like something's going on, and I heard there were things that were taken from them.
Yes. Lena, what was in your journal?
It was like a collection of things. Part of it was just like her, like just writing about what happened, but also it was like drawings of planes and like the way to like navigate and drawings of like landscape and scenery, both from like the side and from the top view. It's her way of like learning how to navigate. It's all of her like notes about that.
Anything incriminating?
I don't think there would have been anything terribly incriminating in there. She's pretty loyal to Mother Russia. I don't think she would have had anything terrible there. There are other ways that I think she's going to get into trouble.
Perhaps nothing incriminating, but how about embarrassing? Anything embarrassing in your journal?
Oh, absolutely. Anytime she navigated incorrectly. In fact, there was one time when she navigated so poorly that she ended up shearing the wings off the plane on the side of a cliff, and they had to do an emergency landing. They were really lucky to get away. And so she like described that in detail so that she would never forget how awful it had been and never make the same mistake again. That's what she always tells herself, is that she'll never make the same mistake again.
How many times is that written in the journal?
So many times. Like she's in this moment still like having that, like, I'll never do this again. And but that's part of, I think, why her reaction is so big, is because in her mind she failed completely, even though she tried to do the run. Like, doesn't matter, she failed. So
Comrade,
in our journal, a record of her navigational shame.
Oh, comrade, everything has been read that was taken. Nothing disloyal, for the most part. The religious symbol does not speak well for Comrade Junior Lieutenant Makarova. I worry about her ability to stay in this section. We will need you here in this section. I think they're good airwomen. And I think you will help them be better.
All right, ma'am. Just wanted to bring that to your attention. Something felt weird.
If you see anything specific, I would appreciate if you spoke to me rather than... Well, you do what you think is best, but I would appreciate a heads up.
That's why I was coming to you first.
Good. If you see anything specific, let me know. We can maybe do something less drastic. Yes?
Irina nods, and then I don't know if like it's proper to salute her,
Yes.
but if it is, then would do that, and then leaves and heads to the barracks.
And out you go, knowing that you have graduation coming. And with that, we will be taking our break. And when we come back, graduation and the war will hit them. So let me pull that up. I think first, though, we have to see if we have any donations. Let's see what we have here. Oh, we do have some. We have some donations. And I think all of these donations are about making you feel better, maybe? Or mostly poems.
I'll take both.
We'll take both. The Vera Pavlova fan has donated $5 to us and says it is a salutation in a poem. Bonds of sisters renewed, restored, unbroken. On this night the light melts in the crucible of war, reforged at dawn, but in the interim, darkness. Witches take flight. Go, fly, bomb Nazis. Now, Appease the Dice Gods donates $13.37 and says, Oh, digital dice gods, hear this plea. Help us bomb those rat Nazi bastards. And I hope that this will help our luck. And Clippers donates $5 with no message. Nick, can we have a message from Clippers? Clipper, please.
This has been quite enough of that. It's time to do better.
And
Nice clip.
our very last one, which is from Dunya Rostova, who donates $5 and gives us a poem from the Russian poet Anna Akhmatova, who's one of these poets that Sarah loves. And the poem is Thunder. And this is the poem. It says, "There will be thunder then. Remember me. Say, She asked for storms. This entire world will be the color of crimson stone, and your heart, as then, will turn to fire. And with that, we are going on break. And when we come back, graduation. Thank you, everyone. Go hydrate, drink some water, and see us in a few moments. All right, everyone. I will see you soon. We will see you soon. Welcome back, everyone, to part 2 of episode 3, Graduation, Night Witches, Toil and Trouble. Hello, everyone. Welcome back. So happy to have you all here. Hey, welcome back to Geek Space TV. We are doing all the goodness. We have some goldfish, which good Soviets do not have. But you can have them. It's fine. I am Trooper SJP, and I'm the game moderator for this game, and I'm happy to have you here. This game of brave Soviet airwomen dealing with Stalin as well as Hitler, and dealing with trying to become a great airwoman over time. And let's give a quick round where everyone introduces themselves. Let's start backwards this time. So let's go with Shell Game.
Hi, I'm Shell Game. You can find me on Twitch and Twitter, and on Instagram, I'm the Shell Game. Do you want me to intro my character too?
Yeah.
I play Lena Dozmanova, Yelena Dozmanova, but she always just tells people to call her Elena. She is a slight, petite, very messy individual who has a huge passion for flying and a huge dislike for interpersonal communications that are intense.
Fox?
Hi, I am Rocket Fox. I can be found wherever you look up Rocket Fox. There I will be staring right back at you. And my character is Titania Petrova, and she is very sleek, very buttoned up, and her leg is hanging on by like 2 threads right now. It's bad news.
Maggie.
Hey, I'm Margaret Crone. You can find me at Margaret Crone in all of the places. I am playing Irina Alberg, and she is the youngest child of 7 children in her family. She is loud and boisterous, and she's kind of like a more tall, kind of androgynous, like bulkier, strong woman. And she has like really unkept hair that's like brown and frizzy, curly, and her uniform is just not as sleek as Petrova's over there. It's looking like she needs to iron that shit, and she's like, I don't got time for that. No one has time to iron stuff. That's what I can be.
And last but not least, in our upper corner over there.
Hey, I am Mac Beauvais. You can find me everywhere as @StrangeLikeThat. I've also heard that if you say my name 3 times into a mirror, that I will show up behind you and do horrible things. I am playing Nikita Volkova. And Nikita is kind of a wiry frame. She's got short cropped auburn hair, loads of freckles, and is in deep, deep shit right now.
As are we all.
So last time before the break, our team went on a mission, and it seemed to go very poorly, although they did actually bomb some Nazis. They did not do as much damage as they would have liked, but they were successful at doing it. However, in order to do so, it was very desperate. They had to push through, even though they were sort of lost and distracted by the 218th sort of buzzing at them and causing them to move out of their sort of area where they should be. And despite these distractions and sort of moving forward and having it be a very difficult time, they were still able to land some bombs on some Nazis and sort of take out one of these surveillance positions partially. But also they dropped some bombs very near some Russian troops, and they don't know the fate of those troops. They don't know if they injured them or not. But this, their feelings are weighing heavy upon them in this moment. And they know that not all of them have qualified to get their wings as they were supposed to do. And it is at this moment that they are heading towards graduation. They've been here for 4 months, 1942, getting 4 years worth of training, like 3 years worth of training scrunched into 4 months. And it's at this point in time, right, in this sort of aftermath, and people are frightened and worried and stressed, and they've got the secret police, the NKVD, on their neck, sort of looking out for them. There's all this tension that's happening. And Sergeant Yu comes by the barracks one day, and she's there with sort of like a kind of a large crate that she's got Mel carrying. because Sergeant Yu doesn't want to carry it. But Mel can lift heavy things. And Mel drops this crate off. And Mel's looking not particularly happy. And Sergeant Yu says, Airwomen, I have a present for you all. Dress uniforms. Make sure you've got them all set up. They should fit. I know your sizes. You've got graduation. And Mel's like, they're skirts. and Sergeant Hughes, well, we're airwomen. We have to wear skirts, even though it's winter. Take your uniforms.
Lena looked real excited until there was like the connection of what that meant, and then she was like, "Oh."
While you is still there, Tanya's going to remember the box that was supposed to get to her that never quite made it. So she's going to grab that and be like, "Oh, this was given to you."
By whom?
By your friend in the 218th.
Smirnov?
Tanya just kind of throws her hands up.
She she unwraps it a little bit, opens up, and she peeks in. She goes, oh. And then she just puts it away. Thank you. Enjoy your uniforms. And she starts blushing a little bit. I have to go. We've got more crates of uniforms to deliver. I have some information for you. 2C, I thought you might... She looks at Mel, and Mel's like, I thought you might be interested in knowing that there was some graffiti on some of the planes of the 218th. And...
That's shocking.
I thought so as well. And, good job. And she walks out. And Mel's just like, hey, everyone, I heard that the surveillance positions are disrupted. So...
Yeah?
Yeah, and you brought my planes back in one piece, so... Good.
Well, at least something went right.
It's like, well, I've got to go good on my uniform. And she walks off feeling pretty miserable.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, bye, Lena. Sergeant Dosmanova.
Bye.
So, I guess Tanya will open the crate and start trying to dole out these.
And there are these beautiful blue uniforms with buttons, and actually you've got the bright shoulder boards, these dress shoulder boards that you cannot put on just yet because that's for graduation. And they're skirts. And they've got these sort of little heels, which I think will be really comfortable to wear on the flight line. And I think you'll be able to march really well in heels. And
of course, that's why they're there.
That's why they're there.
Because when I think of heels, those are the first two things that come to mind for me.
Marching in the winter.
Marching and comfortable, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, it lifts your ankles out of the snow.
You're bringing back memories. And so you have these, and they fit, and they're very dashing looking. I don't know how you all feel about wearing these these are like A-line skirts below the knee that are, I suppose, they are what they are. How do you feel about them?
Impractical. Just plain impractical.
No.
I like how sharp
no.
and crisp they are.
They are sharp and crisp. Rena's like, no. Lena?
I think Lena's
my legs, just no.
I think Lena's super super excited to have a new uniform, and particularly one that fits. But after she gets it on, she realizes how cold it's going to be.
Yeah.
And she's less excited about that.
Anastasia's really excited. She's like, I think it could be a little bit fancier, but hey, if you want, I can tailor it for you all. I can bring them in a little bit. And Polya's not excited.
Can you make it longer?
Maybe a little?
I think Titania's thoughts on them too are like they're crisp, which is nice. They're more official, but that also represents that they're more official. You know, that they're actually sized to us. It represents us being actually like there and a part of this.
And that is true. Rather than somebody else's uniform that wasn't even made for you, you actually have this crate. And I'm going to tell you, you know what else is in that crate?
Vodka?
Women's underwear. You no longer have to wear men's boxer shorts if you don't want to. You can still if you want to, but they actually have women's underwear for you in this crate. So they've able to get actual women's uniforms. Only dress uniforms still, but they're finally there.
Irina will opt to use both for extra warmth.
Extra warmth.
I think that's fair. I think that's a smart idea.
And you
all just gonna like tuck them away. Like, okay, great. Now I have more underwear. This is awesome. Like double the amount. Yay!
I wonder if it'd be possible to even like put a few around each leg to try and like trap the heat in a little bit more. How many underwear do we get? Like a bunch?
No, you get 6. That is all you get.
Oh, well.
But be
I'll
lucky.
accept it, I suppose.
6 underwear, that's good.
I thought you were gonna be like one pair per person.
No, you get 6.
Oh, I thought it was gonna be like one to share. Oh no.
And it is one of these days where the day of your graduation, it's a nice afternoon. At this point in time, you're all healed up and rested. And you're out on the flight line. There are 300 women on this flight line, all 3 of the regiments. And there's men's regiments. Everyone's having their graduations on this one day. And you're out on the flight line and it's windy. And you're in these skirts that are impractical. And some women feel very comfortable in them. Some clearly do not. Some are not happy about the uniform because it's awkward for them. Some are living for it. Some are neutral about it. But you're all there in this line. And you're all in these heels, which are all a little bit awkward. But I suppose, they want you to be ladylike airwomen, I suppose. And when you're marching out onto the field in your heels, it's awkward. You have to take smaller steps. It's not the best. But you make it out there. And as you're waiting in this line, you have Masha Rudina is there as your training officer. And you have Yevdokia Vershanskaya, who is your regimental commander. She's there. They're all there. And there is Marina Raskova. And for each person, she comes through and she takes your shoulder boards. These beautiful dress shoulder boards with the wings, right? There's like not wings, it's like a propeller. It's like a propeller with wings on it that's on the shoulder board as a marker. And they've got these beautiful blue stripes on them. And it's the marker in your rank of graduating and being now officially a natural-born Soviet airwoman. And Marina Raskova puts these boards on each of your shoulders one by one and salutes you and says, welcome to being a Soviet airwoman. And she congratulates you and she says, for the workers, for the people, for Mother Russia. And one by one, you are all given these boards to signify your being brought in to this sisterhood. And it's a long ceremony. These ceremonies always go for a very long time. This is a lot of people. And and you're standing in heels on a cold flight line for a long time. You got to remember not to lock your knees so you don't pass out. That's always a thing. Don't do that. But it still means something. And once it's over, you have time to drink and see people. You have a little bit of time before you're all shipped off somewhere else. And it's just this sort of nice moment where I don't know if you immediately change out of your dress uniforms, if you stay in them, if you go back to your flight uniforms or put on the civvies, but you all have a moment where you kind of get to do what you want a little bit before you're shipped off. And so I want to know, what do you do?
I think that Lena was Mel on the was Mel there too?
She was looking kind of miserable.
Okay. I think Lena's like just super proud. She's holding onto her shoulder boards and she just like walks over to Mel and she's like, well, it's official. Are you coming too? I mean, somebody has to take care of Clipper and you obviously know him best.
Mel puts her hand right through her hair and then she says, could I see your shoulder boards?
Yeah.
And she takes them. She looks at them and she looks at like just how beautiful they are. And she looks a little sad. She says, these are beautiful. I'm really proud of you. You're a pilot. She hands them back. Anyway, I'm not leaving your section. I'm going to stick around. I wouldn't leave you all. I mean, I wouldn't leave you all. The group.
Little Clipper needs you.
Right, a little Clipper. Yes.
Yeah.
You farmer, right?
Yeah.
My family too. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
Beets.
Well, what kind?
Beets.
Oh, yeah, we're potatoes.
Oh, potatoes. Yeah.
Beautiful.
Beets are great.
Yeah.
I
Temperamental, I understand. Or they can be.
Yeah.
Not careful.
Did you I need to get out of this skirt. So I'm going to go back to my barracks and get changed, but I was thinking that some of the gals over the mechanics, we sometimes drink and play poker, and
Is it good vodka?
No.
Huh?
No.
Oh, good.
Oh, but if you wanted to join us, and Nick, right? I figured she'd maybe like to play with us as well. I mean, anyway, if you wanted to.
Yeah. I'll while you're changing, I'll go and I'll ask Nick, and then I'll see you there.
Hey, I just and she just steps a little bit closer to you, not super close, but just like 6 inches closer, just like hovering near your zone, right? She says, and she looks like she's going to reach out, but then she puts her hand down. She says, thank you for not spreading any rumors about me. Or sharing rumors that you heard. I mean,
I'm sorry that you're not getting your shoulder boards today too.
Yeah.
Don't worry. I don't see a reason to spread any sort of rumors.
I'm glad. I mean, rumors are terrible.
Yeah. And mean.
Right? I mean, I'm sure you understand about the difficulty of such rumors? Maybe?
I'm beginning to.
Oh. So, I thought maybe you would understand the rumors?
I mean, I understand what they're saying, but
just, if you want, just come over to our barracks and with your friends and
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, Lena starts just like poop. She's gone into like uncomfortable, doesn't know how to handle interpersonal, and she's just starting to sweat now, and she's like grinning a little bit, but also just like, yeah, maybe I should change too. It's
Yeah.
really warm out here.
And I hate these shoes. So I'll just tonight, just bring your friends and yeah.
Poker and vodka.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. And I'm gonna just. Okay.
Yeah. Lena hasn't stepped back this entire time though. They're just still like not super close, but close.
They're like close enough. Just close enough.
Just close enough. And she's just like, I'm gonna.
Me too.
Yeah.
And she's like looking you in the eyes, right? There's this, like she holds your gaze. She doesn't let it go. Like there's a lot of awkwardness, but she keeps the eye contact in that way that says that she's seeing you. Well,
You're good. And Lena's gonna like
they head off. Now, Irina, as you're walking off the flight line, this woman walks up and goes, Alberg, and you don't know her at all.
I turn to the woman yelling my last name.
Alberg, right?
Yeah.
And she's a sergeant like you, also in dress uniform. She says, I hear that you're a good pilot.
I mean, that's what we're here for, right?
Well, that's what I'm here for. I'm in the 586, the fighter plane regiment.
Right.
Would you be interested in maybe leaving the 588 and coming over to our side?
She like tries to contain her composure. I don't know. Why, what you got?
We just heard that there were some good flyers out there, and maybe you might be interested. I mean, if you're interested, I can talk to some of my people. I don't know, but don't hold your breath. But if you're interested, yeah.
Maybe.
All right. We'll see you around.
Get your name.
Oh, Lydia. Lydia Litviak.
Right. All right, Lydia.
Okay. And she walks off, and you're like, who is that woman? And she walks off, and you see this sort of a group of women, and they all seem to probably be from the 586. And they have got white silk scarves that make them seem like sort of dashing pilots. And everybody's like doing their, sort of going off in different ways before the evening. Is there anything else you want to do before the evening?
I think Titania's gonna lie pretty low.
Is Captain Olga there?
Oh, she is. She's there.
I'm going to want to be out of her line of sight as quickly as possible after the ceremony.
And she's just looking at everybody in the ceremony, just noting what everyone's doing. And she sees you, and she doesn't know if she catches your eye. She'll just smile warmly and nod to you.
Ugh.
And
if you hear me when you say I say, yeah, she gives me the creeps.
But she's so friendly. I don't understand. I have no idea. And as the
Friendly
evening
only counts for so much.
that is so true.
What did you say?
Friendly
only counts for so much.
Yeah.
And as the evening draws to a close, you have your last night before you're all going to sort of go off somewhere new. And you have time for drinking, you have time for gambling, you have time to sort of meet people, write letters, and it's just sort of a generally nice evening. And if you hang out in the barracks of the mechanics, they do not have 6 women to a barracks. They have 20 women to a barracks. And it's cold, but there's vodka, and it's loud, and people are just generally having a good time. It's this moment of celebration of really having made it. Like, you're actually have done it. And then you're shipped off. You're shipped off to your first duty station, Trud where it's in the Caucasus. And it's your first duty station. And Trud when you arrive there, it sucks. You know how you had those barracks and they were really nice? The first thing you do when you arrive is you have to dig holes in the ground where you will sleep. And you spend hours and hours digging giant dugouts with wooden planks over them. And you are sleeping in these holes. So it's very stressful. And you're in the middle of the Caucasus, and on 3 sides of you have enemy. And the battle line is, the Soviet army at this point in time is in retreat very often. Sometimes they push forward, sometimes they comes back. The battle line is very, very inconsistent, very fluid, as they say. And you've got enemies on all sides of you in this little place where you're at. And every night, all you can hear is artillery, right? And during the day, it's artillery. It's artillery all the time. And you're in this grungy, grody place, and you can't always find supplies. You're at a -1 to all scrounge and repair rolls while you're here. And this is the first time you're actually going to go out and do it. So I'm going to ask you some questions about this location. So what you're using as an airfield is just a rye field, a field of rye that has been flattened out and turned into your airstrip. So what does this rye field look like? Will somebody draw me the rye field? And it's this really rough runway that on either side you've got bales of hay that help demarcate it, because it's not even a real runway. So
here, I'll draw it.
Oh, good, thank you. And then where are these leaky dugouts? Right now it's June and August in this place, and it's wet, it's humid. There are a lot of mosquitoes here, and you're sleeping in a hole in the ground.
All right, I got this.
And
I'm trying to delete stuff.
I'm going to ask also, there is a village, Trud is this village, and it's at this edge of a very thick forest. You have this very thick forest, and you've got your runway, you've got these dugouts that you have. And just let me know where this village is. And I'm going to ask you some questions to start us off. And the first question is that I will ask, what is being done to keep livestock off of your runway, and why isn't it working? And what is this livestock that keeps wandering onto your runway? What is it?
Cows.
Cows?
Big old cows. They want that ride.
So what have you been doing to try to keep these cows off your runway?
I mean, I would assume that, we're using bales of hay, which clearly is not disenfranchising the cows.
Yeah.
But there are kind of these logs that have been kind of makeshift, piled up along the outer edges. But they're rolling around. They're not really set up well. The cows can push them over. And then they start rolling down over. They knock into the hay bales. They knock the hay bales over onto the runway. It's just a hot mess every which way.
Yeah. I also want to ask, so just so you know, Polia is not with you. She has been sort of taken away a little bit for some conversations about how religious she might or might not be. And so she is not in your section.
Do we still have Anastasia with us?
You do.
Can't get rid of her that easy.
But none of you have any harm left, and you have got a new reserve plane. But I do want to ask, which airwoman of the 588th was in no condition to fly when the regiment arrived in Trud, and why? Could be anyone.
It could be anyone.
Mm-hmm. Who was in no condition to fly?
That's a fine question.
I think none of us want to take that one.
Doesn't have to be you. Doesn't have to be you. Could be someone else.
Oh, let's give it to Anastasia then. I mean, that seems like a logical place to place someone who's unable to fly.
Why was she in no condition to fly?
The food poisoning was really nasty.
And also she chipped a nail.
So Anastasia has this terrible food poisoning. How did she get it?
She went to party with the gals in the hangar.
Yeah.
And she thought she could take it, but
but she could not.
She could not. There's some things that have never even been in the periphery of her stomach before that.
Because there was some good food, good food in that party. It was not fancy food. It was food where if you have a hearty stomach, you'll be fine. If maybe you have a delicate stomach, it would be less fine.
I can't imagine a more delicate stomach among us.
And I will also ask you, who gave? So there is in this location, a German fighter pilot who flies in an FW 190. And this pilot seems to be obsessed with the 588, always trying to shoot them down and chasing them around and always lurking around for every flight. Somebody gave this person the nickname Yellowtail. Who was it?
I feel like Irina probably is the one who's giving someone a nickname, if anything.
Okay. Where were you the first time you saw this plane flying?
What, like...
How did you see...
Can I have more details on the plane?
Yeah. So this is a modern fighter pilot. It's a fighter plane that goes 400 miles an hour. It's got actual sort of cannons on it, real guns, one pilot. And this plane has clearly got a number of kills on it already. And he's part of a unit that's been flying around at night trying to find you all and shoot you down. So far, no one's been caught. But at some point in time in one of these missions, you must have seen him somewhere.
This was probably our last one that we did when Petrova and I had a little incident.
Incident is a word.
And he must have been maybe off on the edge,
They were probably the ones that marked us.
Yeah. And you were able to sneak out of that. But he's out there, this pilot. And he seems obsessed with you all for some reason.
Well, who wouldn't be?
Who wouldn't be? Now, it's summer. The flying is good. You have a lot of missions to take on. And you're in this location. You've got Anastasia who's got her food poisoning. She's feeling pretty miserable. Those of you who have not qualified have to do additional training, which means you're almost always at one harm because of stress, just because you're always sort of trying to get all of your training done. And you have to do extra lessons. So you're always sort of lingering with one harm for lack of sleep. But it is this duty station, and you have time and space to reach out to each other, talk to each other, do what you like. You've set yourselves up. You've got your hangars. You've got your dugouts, which are pretty miserable, by these fields and by this forest. And every night you have to go off into these missions. You're now in it, and your pattern is that the night falls. You go off and you fly for 8 hours, 9 hours, however long it takes. As long as it's dark, you fly. And you come back, you fly out, you come back. The mechanic armors, Mel and her crew, they load you back up again, and then off you go, back again, back and forth, back and forth. 8 to 10 times in a night you're doing these sorties, and you're flying off from one of these, usually a small field that's close to your main one, but you go from your main field to a small field and you go off and you bomb things. And when you come back, you do your debrief, and then you get food, and then you try to get some sleep in the middle of the day, and then you get up and you have to, if you're needing to do training, you have to do extra training, you've got to go and clean everything, you've got to sort of work. I mean, it's all it's tiring, right? Every night you're doing this. Every night you're going back up there. Every night you're not getting enough sleep. You're trying to do the best you can with really bad supply lines, and it's dangerous because you never know when your position will be compromised, and you have to sort of come back and sort of escape. It's like it's a terrible sort of space that you're in, and you're in this space together, all of you except Polia, who's no longer there. You are in your dugout, leaky, with no longer with your wall lockers, but with these sort of foot lockers instead. And so I will ask you, what are you doing before your first mission?
Titania is going to have a conversation with Irina to kind of just talk over what happened back there.
Mm-hmm.
And also say that she, really was impressed and appreciated how she carried on when I was not in a position to do correctly. All of that I have said to you.
Okay. Is that just like how you say it, or do you want to like RP it?
Yeah, no, I'm trying to think. Because I guess Titania at this point, Titania doesn't know if we're on okay terms, just because that was kind of a rough go back there. So I guess at this point during the day, is there anywhere else for us to be, or are we just in our holes in the ground?
You've got to eat food. You've got to make sure your planes are maintained. You've got to make sure your uniforms are done. You've got to do extra training. So you've got lots and lots of things to do, generally speaking.
Are we eating in the holes? Or is there another place?
There's like a mess tent as well. And your food is, it's like thin soup with black bread. It's not the best, but you have you make your own spaces to find places where you can relax some, and you still in your dugout, you still have the Victrola.
Oh, that's nice.
Good news.
All right, so I'm going to say this during a mealtime.
Yeah.
Go over, and Titania sees Irina sitting at a table with her bread and thin soup, and we'll go over and kind of sit down across from her. So I wanted to talk to you about what happened on the last training flight.
Look, it's fine. We made it out.
We did.
Anyway, should have known. I knew we were going the wrong direction.
No, you need to be able to trust your navigator and the junior lieutenant of the squad. And I should have been more aware of the kind of state I was in. Instead, I wasn't, and I made it a dangerous situation for all of us. And I would like to think that moving forward, I could learn something about that as the junior lieutenant of the squad. But I wanted to say that I really was impressed by how you carried on, even when I wasn't able to.
Irina kind of stops eating because she's eating the whole time you're talking, and looks at you and kind of looks around and looks back at you and is like, I appreciate that. Takes a lot to be able to admit that, and I agree. You weren't in the state. You shouldn't have flown.
Yeah, just trying to prove Mother Russia proud, I guess.
Sometimes proving someone or proving yourself, you have to take a moment, step back. I know, stupid coming from me. I'm probably the last person that will do that, but at least I can see how it affects other people.
Well, and it's good to be able to notice that anyway. And I would hope that in the future, you've proven yourself to be beyond a competent flyer and a really good part of the squad. And I would hope that you would feel comfortable if you see a time when it seems like maybe one of us or even myself would need to step back, that you would feel comfortable. We're sisters after all.
All right, Lieutenant. Look, I didn't want to say anything because, hierarchy and all. But yeah, next time. You have my word. I'll speak up.
I'd appreciate it. Plus, hierarchy doesn't mean quite so much when we're out here sleeping in holes.
Tell that to the people that get killed for, well, having something in their journal. She kind of like looks down at where Lena is. Fortunately for us, I guess that's not the case.
Yeah, at least not right now. And so at this point, Tanya's going to get up and go back to the food area.
Before you, like, as you're getting up and you say, at least not right now, she's like, what do you mean not right now?
Well, they came at us pretty hard back in training, when the only thing that ties us to the secret police is Anastasia, is her sister, because everyone knows her sister because she doesn't stop talking about it. But they came at us pretty hard, and I don't know of any reason why they would, but I also don't think that they would stop now that we're somewhere else.
I don't imagine so. And I don't think things are going to get easier. Probably going to be harder, if anything.
Yeah. In the meantime, do you want some more? Takes a bread and like, it's a hard bread, hits it on the table. Do you want another bread?
I mean, if you're not taking, I'll take it.
So I'll just toss it over to her.
I need a reach out roll from you to Tanya. This is clearly a reach out.
Lord knows I'm trying.
I want a 2d6 from you.
She's been trying to reach out.
All I want. Oh no, I'm drawing all over the place. Hang on. And also I'm on the map twice. Sorry guys, I'm everywhere.
You're everywhere.
All right, here we go. Here we
All
go.
right, I'm ready.
New space, new mindset.
All
right. What?
You had to get out of training.
Success, ladies and gentlemen.
All right. So with a partial success for your reach out, you can choose one. You can remove one harm from you and your friend. She does not have any harm, but you have one because you've been doing extra training. You can add one to the mission pool, or you can change the target and tone of one of your current regard slot.
Let's add one to the mission pool.
There's our leader.
I think we're gonna want that.
Yeah,
I'll take it.
Probably are.
Just based on,
It's fair. Nick, what about you? You're here in this new duty station, in these dugouts, and you're sort of making your way before your big mission later in the evening. What are you doing? What would you like to do?
I'm exhausted, but I'm trying to get a game of poker together.
Tell me, who do you want, because you have this deck of cards, who do you want to reach out to?
I'm probably going to reach out to Lena because she's in real tight with the mechanic gals who always seem down for a good poker game.
Oh, yes. So I think that you two are in the other part of this food tent, this mess tent. While they're talking over here, you two are near each other on this other side of the tent. So please go ahead.
Hey, Lena.
Oh, hi. You want to sit?
Yeah, that'd be great. I was actually wanted to see if you wanted to help me get a game of poker together. Been training so hard, I need something to think about that's not training.
I bet Mel would love that. I mean, I'm sure we could get a bunch of the mechanics to, I think they'd like to blow off some steam too. So I'll just go get them for that.
Okay. I guess. Yeah, you and Mel are pretty friendly.
Well, yeah, she takes care of the clipper.
Yeah, and you do love that plane.
Look, when you understand the clipper the way I do, there's just no separation. You just know. You know where you go. You know it's going to take care of you. You know you're going to take care of it. I don't know how you don't love your plane.
The planes and I have not been getting along very well lately. I'd like to change that very much. And I mean, maybe you can help me with that on the next mission. You're a fantastic navigator, and I'm just struggling.
You know, part of it, I think, is just taking some time to sit in the seat and just listen. It'll tell you, you'll feel that bump, you'll feel that lurch, and you'll know which direction you need to head. Also, it's really helpful to just sort of like, look, when I was first learning, I had this instructor who told me that no matter what, no matter how bad the weather is, you're not going to be able to necessarily see where your North Star is or know what's beneath you, but you're going to know which direction you took off in. And your internal compass, it knows which way to go. So you just have to trust that based on the direction you took off of and how far you've turned one way or the other, you got to know where you're at that way. She was real smart.
Sounds like. Thank you. And let's play some poker. I need a break.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Lena's gonna like gulp the rest of her soup and like run to go get like Mel and everybody.
Before you do, I think that's a reach out roll to Nick.
Yay!
Seems like a reach
We're
out.
getting closer. I can feel it.
We're so close.
No.
All right. Tell me, Nick. She's telling you this thing about how to like her relationship with her instructor at flight school and like this whole philosophy. Tell me how this is misunderstood or understood all too well.
It's definitely misunderstood. She's kind of, she's a little too humanizing that plane a little too much.
Mm-hmm.
But the way she's talking about that and her instructor and her, the fact that the first person she mentions is Mel right off the top, and they were really seeming really close. Gives me just thoughts back to what Olga had told me.
Interesting. Yeah, Olga did tell you that there were some things happening in the regiment to watch out for.
Well, and you tell me, there had been rumors about Mel going around already, so those probably would have reached Nick at some point too.
I feel like Nick's one of those kind of people that is up on some of the gossip, and maybe you heard some from Sergeant Yu, who tends to know everything that's going on. So you might have heard some rumors. Yeah,
so I think it's just she's going to kind of couch that information for right now.
And so you head over, you get yourself sort of brought over to these barracks. Now, for that last mission that they all took, they all got to take an advance. They got to take a character move. And I would like to ask each one of you, what was the character move that you took before we go into this poker game?
Any order that you prefer?
Let's start with Nick as you're moving in towards the dugout of all these mechanic armorers. What move did you take?
Sure, let me pull that up. So I actually took Voron, and it's when you steal a treasured possession from someone, they are marked. If the treasured possession is their lover or their future, advance.
Okay.
Oh no.
Oh yes. Interesting. Lena, I think you're also going to this poker game, are you not?
I am, yes.
What move did you take?
I took as seen on Pravda, which means that when I am tempting fate, I'm going to use metal and my metals instead of my guts.
All right. Now, I want to say less hooligan-esque, but that's just not true. There are hooliganists all over the place over there. Irina, what move did you take?
I took androgynous, which is you can act up by acting like a man, not a hooligan, and I can use my plus guts instead of the normal roll that you would do.
Very nice.
But on a miss, I'm marked.
Oh, all right. Okay. Acting up. And Titania, what about you?
I decided to take pull rank, which is to take a +1 forward when I act up if I outrank the target.
Oh, very nice. All right. Now, Lena and Nick, do you tell the other two about this poker game or no?
I mean, oh, go ahead.
They seem to be kind of palsy about stuff. And, I just, as much as I really appreciate Petrova, I'm not sure how I feel about Alberg yet.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I don't think Lena, I think Lena would just jump up. She would actually grab like an extra cup of chai because she thinks Mel it's cold out there and Mel might need it. And so, and she would just be focused on like getting the poker game together.
Poker game. You two make it over to these barracks where all of the mechanic armors are. And these barracks are rough. People are cursing. And they're just like joking around. And when you two walk in, and it's one of these things where pilots don't generally come over to these dugouts. And they're a little bit overcrowded. And because you all, even if you don't outrank them, although you often outrank most of them, you're pilots. And so you have a little bit of a mystique, and there's a bit of a class division between you all. But when you walk in, they're all a little bit surprised to see you, except for Mel, who's like, "Oh, hi, both of you. It's to what do we owe this honor? Is something wrong with the planes?"
No, nothing is wrong with the planes. I have seen a lot of the planes lately. I would like to be seeing some poker cards in front of me, though.
I brought some chai.
And somebody who's not Mel's like, "Oh, great!" And one of the privates gets up and starts walking over to pick up the chai. And Mel's like,
Lena doesn't know what to do, so she just starts sweating and hands over the chai.
And one of these privates is like, "Thanks," and starts drinking. She's like, "Oh, it's really good." And Mel's
Lena just looks at Mel like,
and Mel's like, "Well, let's get this poker game together. What are we betting?" And she pulls up, a seat for Nick, and they sort of put together a group. And there's like 6 of you all who want to play together. And somebody's sort of tapping out a bit of a rhythm in the corner, and it smells moist and damp in these barracks, in this dugout. And they bring out the cards, and Mel says, "Oh, well, one moment," and she pulls out a bottle of what is probably homemade vodka from somewhere, and passes out shots. I'm like, "All right, what are we gambling?"
I wish I could gamble the horrible dress uniform, but that's a bad idea.
And Mel goes, "Oh, God, that is the worst. Why do we have to wear skirts?"
So uncomfortable.
The 218 always
we bet.
How about if we bet cleanup duties of the barracks?
Oof. All right.
what?
For a good game of poker,
Yeah.
you're on.
I
Okay.
was kind of hoping that when she was saying her uniform, that she's gonna be like, "Well, we can bet on that. Strip poker it is."
Strip poker.
A thought crossed my mind, and then I'm like, well, I'll definitely find out who is a lavender woman.
I don't know, is that entrapment? If it's like, hey, so I'm going to find out who's a lavender woman, ladies.
Ladies.
Is making anyone excited?
So, Nick, you have a couple of choices about what you want to do here in this moment.
Sure.
You can act up for part of your poker game, right? So to win, to do well. Or you can also maybe eyeball to get a sense of the people in this room and what's up with them. Like, you've got a couple options about what you'd like to do as you all start sitting down to play this game.
Let's see. I think that acting up is going to be best for me because I have really good luck.
Mm-hmm.
So I think there would be some definite hooliganism going on.
There's some smack talking. I'm going to just note that Mel likes to say that, She has not been beaten in poker in 15 hands. Can you hang Nick?
If I can fly a plane, I think I can handle this.
Oh, I bet I can fly a plane better than you can fly a plane.
Oh, do we have another bet going? It sounds like a one that maybe neither of us is going to be able to live up to unless we do something really naughty.
I bet we could find a time to sneak out the planes.
Ooh.
So, you know what? You're on.
Yeah? All right. Let's Lena, would you be my navigator if we did a competition, a race?
Sure. Yeah.
Nick, do you have somebody trustworthy who could be your navigator? Unless you want to navigate and someone else would pilot? I think we should do a race. I think we should do a race.
I'd want to have somebody else pilot for me.
All right. Okay. So let's play this round, and then we'll think about a race between us.
Poker first.
Okay. All right. I want your act up like a hooligan.
Should I go ahead and roll?
Please do.
All right, let's see here. See, I do have modifiers that aren't showing up.
And that's
though.
luck.
Yeah. So I get a +2 to that. That's not already in, is it?
It should be, yeah.
Okay.
Let me see. Make sure it is.
Oh
Is
my
it?
God, what is this luck that we have?
Yes, it
Oh,
is.
+2. Plus 2
What
plus
the-
1 plus
That's a
2.
5. So
Wow,
here's the
that
thing.
Yeah, we have real bad luck.
Yeah,
We've only gotten like 3 partial successes this whole time.
Yeah.
She cleans your clock. You're playing poker,
Yeah.
and she beats you so bad. So bad. She takes all, like, you've got little matches that you're playing with, and she takes them. And she's like, so, it looks like you pilots are going to be cleaning the mechanics barracks for the next month.
Nick, no.
Well, fair is fair. Fair is fair.
But we do
No, it's not fair. My God. Are you sure you weren't cheating?
But I think we have a race to do. Maybe later.
Let's hope my luck is better for that.
And Lena, you'll be my navigator?
Yeah. Yeah, I said I would, and I don't go back on my word.
Okay, so yeah. It's on. Hey, Volkova,
Yeah.
you lost fair and square, but I have something for you. I was talking to Sergeant Yu, who was saying a couple things about you, and she said that you had a, and she goes into her footlocker and she comes out with a really it's like a bigger knife than the one that you have,
Oh.
and she says, "That's for you."
Thank you. I know we were saying a lot of things during this game, but genuinely.
Look, she said that you're all right, but that you could use a little bit more firepower, and I have some knives. And I just wanted you to know that you're okay, and you're welcome here with the rest of us anytime you want.
I appreciate that.
But I'm still going to beat you in this air race. I mean, Lena and I will.
We'll see. We'll see.
I think it's obvious.
All right, well, I guess I better go find a pilot.
We'll do it. We'll do it. You know, Lena, if you want to stick around some, you can.
I mean, sure. Like I got a little time. Besides, I gotta help clean, right?
Too bad. You lost.
Oh well.
Raina, what about you? What are you doing?
I don't think there's much to do here other than I mean, we're out in the middle of nowhere.
You are in the middle of nowhere.
I think Irina's probably writing. She writes to her sister and her brothers quite a bit, and her parents.
If you give me a significant new truth that you share with one of your sisters, that will be a reach out.
Like my siblings?
Mm-hmm. If you're writing home.
Okay.
Tell me what you write to them.
I guess I'll probably just write to my sister.
Sonia?
And her name's Sonia. I only have one sister. The rest are all brothers. So I have 5 brothers, 1 sister. And she's currently doing school stuff. And so I'm just kind of telling her it's going to be okay, that, she just has to make it through and, deal with all the things that she has to deal with. And then also kind of telling her some of my things. I tell her about basically not in details, because obviously someone else is probably going to be reading these letters that I'm sending out.
Oh, yes.
But the story of my failure and what I did to overcome it, to kind of give her a life lesson and teach her type of thing.
Do you share how badly you feel about it?
About how I feel, how badly she feels about it?
About how badly you feel about that failure?
Yes. And then for my brothers, I just kind of it's just more back and forth. They basically just write me how they're doing. I just write them how I'm doing. And it's very short and to the point. My mother, on the other hand, I tell her everything I possibly can, because she asks 30 million questions. I lie a lot because she's asking what I ate and if I'm eating well and all that stuff, like mothers do.
So you lie to your mother a lot.
My mother is kind of to my father too, because my mother writes the letters to me from her and my father. But we all know it's just my mom's writing me.
How much do you lie to your family, to your parents?
Oh, probably a ton. Because I want them to feel like everything's fine and that I'm not in danger, because my mother already is upset that I'm where I'm at. But of course I'm happy.
Why don't you give me a 2d6 roll, if you please?
Just a straight up 2d6?
2d6.
All right, here we go. I gotta select my token. Partial success.
So you may choose one. You have no harm, so you have no harm to get rid of. You can add 1 to the mission pool, or you can change the target and tone of one of your regard slot.
I think my regard is fine. I trust Lena still so far. I think that, what +1 to the mission pool?
You all have 2 mission pool, my friends. And at that point in time, the night begins to descend, and you know it is time for you to go up into the air. But that will happen at our next session. That is it, my friends. I want to thank everyone for being here. It has been wonderful to have you here. I hope you appreciated our game for tonight, and we certainly appreciated all of you who are here as an audience member. And I believe we have a couple of donations that came in while we were getting them all acquainted to their new duty station. And let me read them out, because I want to share them with us all.
I think they also missed the cow getting moved around a ton.
And then a lot happened.
Someone built a person and we chased the cow back. And we built a hay stack.
Wait, they have to see it.
Cows.
Yeah, wait, so we have some cows up there?
No, bad cow.
You have to watch out for those bad cows.
But I don't think anyone saw it, actually.
Oh, I saw it.
I mean, we saw it, but I don't think they actually did. I don't think it was on the screen.
I want to point out that the little man over there, he's holding a broom. He's chasing them with the broom.
Oh, I thought that was his hand. I thought
Audience has to see
It
that.
was maybe fire, but I wasn't.
It's a little man with a broom.
I mean, initially it was supposed to be a broom, but it is what it is.
good clarification. Good clarification.
So William TW donated $10 and he says, I woke up late. Love what I have seen. Nice to see the whole cast together. I know, it's so great to have the whole cast together. And then Maccabee Smackabee donated $5 and gives us this verse. An airwoman brave, true, and Soviet was coerced into outing the mauve yet. The fine vodka she missed, and now she's quite pissed. More for us, we insisted. Nazdorevya. Huh? And then Comrade Propaganda, but we're getting limericks. This is it. All of our donations are full of excitement. I like it. Comrade Propaganda Bot donates $5 and says, Comrades, in this accent, Propaganda Bot here with a gentle reminder. Our Soviet random number generator produces better numbers the more loyal you are to Mother Russia and Comrade Stalin. What? That's not what random means? Please speak to your local NKVD contacts. Goodbye for now. So I think we've learned what's going on with our roles. You just need to be more loyal to Mother Russia, and everything will be fine.
Oh.
I'm a little worried about your loyalty to Mother Russia if this is what's happening with your die rolls, but they're picking up. So
we had no successes, like full successes.
But you had some partials.
We had 3 partials. Or 4 partials, I think, is the last one. But we had no full successes.
You also have to clean the mechanics barracks for a month.
Hey, they're doing that.
Nice.
Sure is hard, man.
I'm sure you can do it together as a team.
It's just gonna be dreamy-eyed.
Just the whole time, like, oh, is this your bed? Oh, okay.
I'm just gonna go ahead.
I'm just gonna touch it.
I'm just gonna fluff the pillow for the next 45 minutes.
I'm gonna fluff it with my face.
It smells so nice.
Isn't this how you fluff your pillow?
Oh, now I have bad thoughts in my mind, and they have to do with puns. I've got pun thoughts in my mind, and I have to no puns.
What? I love puns.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that. Then that would make Lena a fluffer. But so what happens is
it's all pillow talk. It's fine. Just don't let Nick know, because then you know.
Yeah. Oh. So right now we have got Nick. What is that?
What is that?
What is that noise?
I don't even know. Let me see. Hold on. There we go. They cannot currently hear whatever that was. I've muted you all for a moment. I don't even know. I will bring you all back up in a moment. But the audience is not hearing that strange sound. I want to thank you all for being here. Next week, we will have them do their first mission in Trudgornyaka, and they have 2 mission pool, and they're all healthy, and I think everything will be well. They have got a airplane race. Nick, it seems, is going to be acting up and bucking the patriarchy, and maybe she'll get in trouble for it. I don't know. We will see. And they've got a airplane race going on and a big mission coming up. And we've got all sorts of toil and trouble happening. So I want to thank you all for being here. And I'm glad for you all to come back. I have no idea what that is. If y'all could maybe mute your channels and then bring them back up, and maybe that will stop it. Because, oh, that was nice. Oh.
That's your microphone. You're ironically making that noise because of Lena and Mel, and then I was like, no, this is like a mistake.
This is weird. Thank you everyone for being here. I want to say thank you all for being here. Thank you all for all the people who donated, who've been supporting us. If you could all just tweet about us, let people know about us, come and support the show. It is much appreciated. Give us a follow, give us a like, subscribe, all that business. Join us on the Discord, and I want everybody to introduce themselves. I'm Tripper SJP, I'm your game moderator, and I'm happy to be here. And I will tell you, marching in heels is really terrible. I know that from personal experience. It's no good. Let's start back at the top with Mac. Why don't you tell us who you are and where we can find you?
Hey guys, again, I am Mac Beauvais. You can find me on the social medias, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter as @strangelikeThat. And I hope to interact with you there because I really love chatting with you guys about the games that I play here, and also over at the Happy Jacks RPG stream. I'm on there pretty frequently every Monday. So check that out. It's good times.
Thank you. And Maggie.
Sorry. I don't know what is going on with your mic, Rocket, but it's hilarious. It's like the perfect timing. And then I just can't. You can find me at Margaret Crone in all of the places. I'm Margaret Crone. I mean, probably it's me. That's kind of all I got. I do lots of stuff on the internet, so come check it out. If you're interested in games, I also make games, so you can come check those out too.
What is the game you're working on right now?
I'm currently working on Ashes of Creation and Ashes of Creation Apocalypse, which is going into beta next weekend, so you can come check it out.
That's exciting. Oh, and Mac, you work with Crypt TV, and you have this really cool new T-shirt out, yes?
Yeah, although it's already sold out. We had it for 48 hours, but we're gonna be back with another one next month.
Awesome. And we can find that on your Twitter?
Yeah, you can definitely find it on my Twitters.
Excellent. And Fox, unmute your exciting disco mic and let us know who you are. We can't hear you.
You're talking, so it's whatever it is, it's taking over your microphone.
No, your mic is taken over. No, we can't hear you.
It's taken over. No, it's like I think what I do. It's really important.
Fox, you'll have to mute your mic. So Fox is at Rocket Fox, like the Rockettes. You know, all the Rockettes, they're amazing. And Rocket Fox is at Rocket Fox in all the places.
There you go. Yeah, you're fixed.
Yes, you're fixed.
Oh man, I blame this guy right here. Go away in shame.
I have the same microphone though.
I don't know. It's usually good. I don't know. It's because that ghosts. Anyway, but yes, I am Rocket Fox. Apparently, I have the grooviest microphone around. If you want to see anything I'm doing, gaming, performance, illustration, you can find me any place where Rocket Foxes are found. And I also do work with superheroines, etc. You can find us at superheroinesetc.org. Come hang out and find me. I like everyone.
Yay! And last but not least, Shell Game.
Hello, I'm Shell Game. You can find me on Twitch and Twitter and Instagram. You can also see me at 7 o'clock here on this channel on Wednesdays, Pacific Standard Time. That was a messed up way of saying that, but come see Worlds Beyond for a very different character who is much better at speaking to people than Lena is. If you're in Seattle, check out sarahperforms.com. Eventually, I'll update it with live performances that are usually at the Market Street Theater and Pike Place Market.
Okay. Thank you so much. Wonderful cast for being here. I thank all of you for being here. Hang out, be cool. We're going to go and come and see us next Saturday when we find out when they do their first mission. And I feel like the roles are already going better, and they're going to bomb lots of Nazis successfully, and maybe also get in trouble when they commandeer some planes for a sky race. It'll be fine. But I don't want you all to forget, next Monday, come and see Sourfruit Junkie doing Inklings and get your drawing on, and that'll be pretty excellent and awesome. So take care, everybody. Fly well, bomb Nazis, and we will see you all later. That's what we'll do.